Hi, and welcome to my Inner Power Yoga YouTube channel. I'm Brenda Schnabel, and I'm a yoga therapist, where I help people like yourself feel better physically, mentally, and emotionally using various yoga and Ayurvedic techniques.
Today, we're going to work on seated poses, basic seated poses that you learn when you first start yoga. These are foundational poses that lead to all other poses. So for seated poses, we're going to work on easy pose, which is crossing the ankles. Now, if you notice that your knees are above your hips, that means your hips are really tight. Go ahead and get a blanket or a block or something to sit on to tip the pelvis forward to lower those hips. If that's uncomfortable, you can start with one foot in front of the other. Sit nice and tall, roll the shoulders up and back and grow through the spine. So just as in mountain pose where we press the feet into the floor, we're pressing the bottom into the floor. There are two bones in the bottom that are called the sits bones. Those are the bones that you want to feel pressed into the floor. And notice whether you're leaning on one sits bones more than the other. If you are, then you might want to even it out again with another blanket. From this position, all other seated poses begin. The next pose we're going to do is what's called head to knee pose. And it's deceiving that the name is called that because you're not really bringing your head to the knee. It has to do with the head of the femur being pushed in as you grow through the leg. It's not the head. So you want to bring one foot in and have the other foot lined out. And just as in mountain pose, you want the head of the femur, the hip, the ankle, and the knee all in one line. The other knee is bent and the foot comes in towards that thigh. If you notice the foot is out, then just bring it in. If you find that you keep wanting to sink down, bring a blanket and set it underneath. It also is helpful to take the flesh and press it back away from those sits bones so you can sit nice and tall. Roll the shoulders back, pull the belly button in. It is not a race to get to that foot. The purpose of this pose is to stretch the back and then stretch the leg. So if you have tight hamstrings and there's a struggle between that back and that leg, go ahead and bend that knee. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, slowly walk the hands out. Again, don't think about bringing the head down towards that knee. Think about bringing the heart forward and down, keeping that back nice and flat, walking those hands out. As soon as you start to feel yourself rounding and really reaching over and the shoulders are coming forward, you've lost the integrity of the pose and the benefits of the pose. Again, it's not a race to touch to that foot or get to that foot. It's a matter of stretching. I like to go down one hand at a time. Stay there for a few breaths if that feels comfortable. I'll walk it down again. The foot is nice and flexed. You can look at that foot or beyond the foot. The toes are being pulled in towards the body. So you're pushing that foot out, pushing the hip the other way, so you're lengthening through that leg. The sits bones are being pressed into the floor and you're growing up and coming over. Think of a crocodile in its mouth, how it goes up and down like that. That's how you want to be. You don't see a crocodile ever bend its mouth. It just goes up and closes its hinge. So hinge at those hips as you come over. Once you've got to your maximum range, stay right there and breathe. If you do this consistently, I promise you, you will get farther and farther in a quicker amount of time. To come out, take a deep inhale and walk those hands back. last seated pose that we're going to do, which is a basic pose, is a seated forward bend. Much like the head to knee pose, a lot of the same techniques and tips apply. You only have, the difference really is you have both legs forward. So again, kind of lift up the cheek, press the flesh away from those sit bones, or sit on a blanket to tilt that pelvis forward a little bit. Grow up through the back, roll the shoulders up and back and down. Take a deep inhale, and as you exhale, begin to hinge at those hips. Walking down slowly. Once again, if you find there's a strain in those hamstrings, bend the knees just a little bit. If you want to go down a little bit farther, take a deep inhale, exhale, hinge at those hips some more. Again, don't round the back. Keep the heart nice and flat. So always stop, assess where you're at. If the heart feels like it's moving up towards the back, you're rounding. And just come out and hinge a little bit farther. And then to come out, once again, inhale and walk those feet. Walk those hands back. This concludes our poses, our basic poses for the seated position. Until next time, let your inner power shine. Namaste.
Thanks so much for visiting my Inner Power Yoga YouTube channel today. I'm Brenda Schnabel, and be sure to follow me on my blog and Facebook page for other tips and techniques.